Hello, hello. I'm not going to look at any comments because I'm driving. After that last live I did with you guys, we had apparently in Kentucky where we're living at, we've had remnant of a hurricane hit us before. Like the rain, a little bit of storm, stuff like that. Hit us before. The eye came through where the town we moved to. Yesterday, we lost service on our phones like 2 hours before the actual storm hit us. We have a massive water maple tree laying on our house right now. It landed on our house. It's just one limb, one big branch of the tree. But if you know anything about how big a fully mature, full-grown water maple is, the branch is as big as the tree. It's taking up 3 yards right now. It's on our house, covered both of our houses, the backyards. It's on the third house's neighbor's building, and they're taking up their backyard. They can't move it. They're going to have to, it's so big, they're going to have to get a crane, and they're going to have to get the large chainsaws just to even cut this. It's so large. It's crazy. I've never been through a hurricane in Kentucky. And, we're alive. It didn't come through the house yet. We're praying it doesn't. It's so heavy, they're afraid it's actually just going to cave it in. So I'm praying that the winds are done, because the winds were awful. Praying that the rest of the tree doesn't come down, because I had just decided, since the cable wasn't working and my phone and internet wasn't working, that I was going to lay down and take a nap. My husband was at work in another town, and he apparently lost power down there at his work, and couldn't get a hold of me, so I couldn't tell him what was going on. Well, when I went to lay down, my dog Taz and my 2 cats, Remy and Sheba, were laying with me. I had just started to doze off, and all of a sudden I heard cracking. I knew in my heart what it was, that it was that big tree, because when we moved in there, we volunteered to take that tree down, or at least parts of it, so that if it were to fall, the heavy parts would be gone and it would fall the opposite direction. Well, the landlord wouldn't do that. Money. Well, we ended up, when I heard it crack, I knew what it was. I knew it was coming down. So I grabbed Taz and both the cats and ran to the bedroom door, the opposite direction of where the tree was falling from, and was trying to get to the front room, because that would have been the only safe room if it, landed on the house, which I knew it was going to. About that time, I look back at the window on the back door, and I see leaves hitting the window, and I'm like, oh my God, it's hit us. I knew it was going to. So, about that time I got to the door, my son ran out of his room. He was asleep because he works third shift, and he was sleeping. He said, oh my God, Mom, did a tree just fall and hit us? I said, yes, it did. Well, then we made it to the living room, because we were still trying to get away from there, because I'm telling you, it's a water maple. It's massive. We were trying to get far away from the back part of the house as we could, because the only safe part would be the front room outside of the front door. So and then when we got to the living room where my other son was at watching TV, he had a VCR watching it, not a VCR, CD player watching a movie, and he's like, Mama, did the tree just hit us? I said, yeah, I did. And so we all run out the front door, and all the neighbors across the street was outside, and they're like, get out of there, the rest of the tree with this wind is going to come down. It's leaning towards your house now. The rest of it, they said, it land on it. So we're freaking out, and the neighbors run out, who it's on their house too, and So none of us had phone service, so we don't know who called the landlords, but we think the neighbors across the street did. So the landlord shows up and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And we're like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do because that's going to take a crane to lift it. Nobody, it's huge." Well, my son, and my daughter-in-law, their power went out. They still have phone service, but no power at the house. And they told them it's going to be days before they can get the phone service and the power restored. So I'm not in my town right now. I'm actually left my town. I went to Frankfurt on my way back. So I have internet as long as I'm not in my town. But once I pull off of the interstate into my town, I'll have no service again. So yeah, I really pray for the people who are down closer to this storm, because if it hit us this hard, I can only imagine the people who are really closer than us. Because like I said, the eye actually came over us in Kentucky, over actually where I'm living, and it's never happened before. We've never had a storm come up from that direction. Our storms always come from Louisville, never from down below us. So y'all keep the people who got hit harder in your prayers, because this was a dangerous, dangerous storm. Really dangerous. But yeah, that's my little bit of excitement. So we're just riding it out, what we're going to do, how we're going to do this, and pray you all that tree doesn't fall through our house now. Because if it does, we're going to be disappointed for a minute, because that tree is big, very massive, and very heavy, and it will just destroy the house. So I'm keeping you guys who live close to the ocean, closer than us, in my prayers, because I can only imagine what it's done to you guys. So y'all stay safe out there, and I will talk to you all soon, I reckon, as soon as I can get internet back. So y'all take care. Keep everyone in your prayers.